Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today we're going to be doing 90-Day Diaries. So I believe I do have some hot goss here, so let's do some hot goss announcement and hot goss before we jump into the episode. So first announcement, Patreon, always gonna plug it. Patreon is up and running. We're, been up and running now for a couple of months for the time this comes out, which is like next week. But yeah, a couple of months now. If you're interested, the link is in the show notes, of course, but you can go to patreon.com/reality tea times 2. There you have 3 tiers for you. The first tier, which is the $3 tier, which you can get these episodes ad free. And maybe even hot cross free. We'll figure that out. Yeah, so you can get that for free. Or sorry, ad free, I should say, sorry. You also have AMAs that come every month. The second tier, which is a $5 tier, you get all of that plus an episode every week with an episode of true crime reality episode that came before and currently doing Jersey Shore. Don't particularly know what season we're on right now. Probably 2 or 3, probably 2. So that is what we do. We do that every Thursday, every week. And then on the third tier, $7, we do a true crime documentary. That comes twice a month. It's usually one thing though, and we do that twice a month. And then again, you also get everything else on second and first tiers as well. So that's what's there. Again, you're interested, patreon.com/reality tea times 2. So that's the announcement. Let's move on to hot goss. So Brittany, if you remember Brittany from Love is Blind, who was on season 8, is kind of talking about the fact that she actually got engaged, and we just didn't see that. She actually was engaged to Mo, who I think saw very briefly. And she was also having connections with Devin, as we know, and then one named Adam Bevis or Beavis, but she ultimately accepted Mo's marriage proposal before they ever met face to face. She said, quote, "I liked Mo a lot and I had picked Mo first, and then I went back and was like, well, let me see what Adam is about." Brittany recalled of her blind dating experience during April 3rd episode of the Just a Couple Things, podcast. She continued, because Chris Colin came in and was like, don't pick what you usually do, he was kind of getting in my head a little bit. He would tell the women to be open to new people and new experiences. After giving Adam a chance, Brittany realized that she did have a stronger connection with Mo. She said, quote, "I feel like Mo was saying all the right things. He talked about his values around family, and he's dropping little things, and you can tell by people's voices what races they are." He's like, which should not matter in this experience, but I mean, I get it. He's like, yeah, because you know how we do. And all of these things, I'm very much pro-Black, and everything I want to do is, uplift. I loved that about him. Brittany further explained that Mo told her that he was Muslim, which they bonded over because her father also practiced the religion, which I do remember that being discussed. Um, he's like, I don't care nothing about that, he said, of the religious beliefs. Anything I said about what I was open to, whether kids, everything, he's like, I don't care anything about that. Let's go build this life together. Will proposed to Brittany, in the fonts, and after she accepted, they met in person via the whole reveal scene. Quote, I felt like this is so crazy. I can't believe I came on this show and did this, and I'm about to get engaged. I go through the reel, and Mo comes out, and I see him. I'm not a super vain person. When I saw him, I noticed you wasn't as tall as you said you were. Jesus. I was like, okay, whatever, all right. And so we walked toward each other. At that moment, it registered in Brittany's mind that Mo had allegedly lied about his height. Oof, not good. Quote, I still was willing to accept him. He seemed very nervous, and I'm like, I'm a whole lot of woman. He's kind of shaking a little bit. We did kiss, and it was a little peck at first. He got on the knee and opened the box and did the proposal and everything. After getting engaged, Brittany and Mo, along with fellow couple Kylie, I think it's Kelly, and Brian Supton, spoke with producers about the cast trip to Honduras. When it was revealed that only 5 pairs would get to go, and why they picked fucking Devin and, you know what, Virginia, Miss Virginia came through. But anyways, Brittany volunteered to stay back while reflecting on Mo's alleged lies, saying, quote, I'm like, let's go back to Minnesota and get to know each other. I felt that would be a little more authentic as well because there were a couple little signals I was getting and something would come out. According to Brittany, she felt it in her heart of hearts that she and Mo did not need to take the televised cast trip. I told producers I'm really interested in getting to know Mo on my own. I ain't here for the fame. I was trying to find me a husband. At the time, Brittany did not know why the show also opted against featuring their love story in the season 8 episodes. She and Mo then decided to continue dating on their own terms, saying, quote, we have the luxury of getting to know each other on our own time. We don't have to rush anything or do anything. We're not doing this for nobody but us, and he was in agreement. Days later, Mo called Brittany and told her that he didn't think he could get there with her at all because he had never dated black women before. I feel like I saw Mo when he was black. But maybe, I don't know. It again doesn't even matter. Saying, quote, it was hurtful in that moment to realize and have that stamp of clarity that this has been the case in Minnesota. I did know parts of his story, so I did have empathy for him still within that moment. Mo, for his part, has not publicly addressed the pair's relationship or his decision to go their separate ways. We wish them all the best. Next piece, another Love is Blind podcast. Amber and Matt Barnett are officially parents. The Love is Blind stars who found love during the first season of the hit Netflix series have welcomed their first baby girl. Amber, who is now 33, announced the happy news on Instagram on Sunday, April 6th, sharing a photo of herself in a hospital bed seemingly taken just moments after her daughter's arrival. In the image, both she and Matt have their hands resting on the newborn as she nestles against her mom's chest. Baby Barnett has arrived and is more perfect than anything I could have dreamed, she wrote in a caption. If you hadn't guessed yet, Baby B is she, and I literally still can't believe the hospital let us take her home and that she's actually ours. She continued, it may be the hormones, but Barnett is blind and our baby girl have my heart so full I can hardly function. I hope this feeling never goes away. So we wish them the best too. So yeah, I only have the 2 pieces right now. So we're going to jump into the reason that we are here, and that is 90 Day Diaries. We're on the episode 2 of that, of this season. So let's get into it. So we had, again, 3 couples here. Not a lot to really discuss with Kobe and Emily, totally honest with you, but we'll just quickly talk about it. So we have David and Annie. Now, just trigger warning for, you know, pregnancy and all that and the journey with it. So we're basically kind of seeing their journey of going through IVF, um, and then her ultimately being pregnant at the end of the episode. So we see David getting his sperm retrieval done, which they kind of like say like there's two ways to do it, and obviously you want the one way because the other way is painful. But they were able to go the other way and get just great swimmers, wonderful swimmers. Great. Then we see her getting her egg retrieval done, and I did get the numbers. So they got 20 eggs, which is incredible. They were able to have 12 embryos, which is also incredible. And from the 12 embryos, they got 4 viable embryos. That is insane. That's so well. That's so good. Um, so they were doing this all in Jersey, and they apparently had a wedding to go to, I think his niece, and then they kind of meet up with the family after the next day, and they basically tell the family that they're going to be trying to get pregnant. Jacob, his son Jacob, who looks good. If again, for those people who maybe are new to the universe, Jacob was actually shot in the face by accident, um, years ago. He's fine. He's fine now. But it was really scary to hear that at the time. It's like, oh my God, like he was just playing with a gun with his friend and accidentally shot it, and yeah. But he looks good. Um, so he just kind of reads his father for filth in this moment, being like, so you actually need to be there, right? When you gotta be, helpful and there. Because again, like if you think about it, it's actually I'm happy for Annie. I want to make this very clear. Annie has been pretty vocal about the fact that she wants to be a mom. But David, I mean, he really did take off and was not present for his kids. And again, if we think about the fact like Jacob's very young, well, not maybe it's not very young at this point, but at the point that he was living with them, he was about 18, 19. And then the whole gun situation happened. And then I think he went to live with his mom. But he was by 18, 19. This was, okay, maybe at least, because they've been married for 5 years now. So yeah, about 5 or so years ago. So he's early 20s. But let's even forget that for a second. Let's just go back to when he's 18 or 19 years old. At that point, David was fucking around in Asia for like 10 plus years. Jacob would have been like 5 or 6 when the divorce happened, and then David's just not there, and then David goes and fucks off to Asia. And I can't even imagine like how much that hurts, honestly. Not only that, like you kind of were always a little frustrated with his daughter. A little bit, at least for me, I was frustrated with her. I'll see how I feel the second run around when we get to it, after Jersey Shore. But I was always really frustrated with his daughter initially, but seeing kind of not only her being affected with her father not being around, but then also seeing Jacob being affected with his father not being around, no wonder she was angry. I would be pretty angry too. Anyways, I just thought he ran her for filth and it was funny. Anyways, we then have the next situation with the embryo transfer, which is, I I obviously have not been through IVF. I've seen it, I've read stories and stuff like that of people's experiences with IVF. And I can only imagine like how the different emotions you feel in that moment, the fear, the excitement, the anticipation, the nervousness, and all of it. Like I can only imagine. So I think it's maybe a week later. I think when they're going to be having an appointment with their fertility doctor to find out the results of whether or not she is pregnant because after they do the transfer, then they do the test, the pregnancy test. And I guess, again, no surprise to anyone, she is pregnant. And she's 4 weeks along, and she's like, 4 weeks? Like, you only did it a week ago. Well, he explains, which makes total sense, that, well, the embryo's already been done 4 weeks prior. So when you are, you know, when it goes in there, you are 4 weeks pregnant because the embryo is 4 weeks pregnant, right? Or 4 weeks along. So, yeah. But, anyways, that's basically it with Danny. That's their new name, Danny. So for David and Annie, let's move on to Kara and Guillermo. I usually like to call him Baby G, but I don't think I can call him Baby G with what he's been up to. What is my Baby G up to? So y'all, he quit his job without talking to her about it. Ooh. So basically, we're kind of seeing like what she's been up to. She's in real estate now, which I think we actually did we know this already that she was in real estate? She's in real estate, whatever. She's doing everything. We literally see her on a phone call and she's like, I need to keep it down. But she, is trying to be a working mom. And he works at a hotel apparently. So they kind of do like this little, date together of like kayaking or whatever it was. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Don't deliver bad news on a date where it's supposed to be fun times for both of you. If anything, the best time to deliver bad news is either before or after sex. When you're a little bit, docile. It's a good time. But Baby G didn't do that. Instead, he tells her during this date after they've gone kayaking and tells her, so yeah, I quit my job because I want to be a pilot. So I gave my 2 weeks notice. I didn't talk to you about this. And I actually enrolled in pilot lessons. So yeah, he's like, I already did that. So that's happening. And like the pilot lessons, we're about to find out just later on. I didn't actually do my notes here, so I'm just going off memory. Later on, they go and do like a little tour or something of like the academy of pilots. And he, when they talk about like the pricing of these things, of doing this, which is fucking ridiculous. It's like $50,000. My guy. And when she says, okay, so who's paying for that? Because you all have a son and Chico or Chica. What's her name again? I can't remember the dog's name. Anyways, you gotta like, oh my God. And he says he's gonna pay for it completely. Again, just like with who is the ones people there who want to have a business and then they quit their job in order to do, oh yes, Greg. Um, in order to do what you want to do, sometimes it's beneficial to have a fucking job, even if it's part-time. You know, you are a parent. I'm all for having your dreams, but you are a parent. You have to be a parent first and foremost. I would be pissed. Now, if you're single, do what you want to do. But if you're in a relationship and you have a child together, I would be pissed that you go off and do this without consulting with me or talking to me about it. I should say more so, talk to me about it and we can figure this out. It is selfish on his part. Anyways, that is Kara and my baby Jay, Guillermo. Also, I do love Guillermo. I think he's a sweetheart. This is a bad move and clearly the start of the end for their relationship. So then we have Kobe and Emily. Again, not much here to talk about. We get a tour of their house that we've seen many times now. We see, a Tem who is named after Valerie. I will never let that go. And then basically just kind of talking about the traditional, like, they kind of say it's kind of like a baby shower or like kind of similar to that, but except it's not. It's a little different. It's traditional to Cameroon. So they're basically just doing that. There's really not much to say. Obviously, it's gonna go well. It's gonna go off without a hitch, but that's basically it for this episode of 90 Day Diaries. I am so excited for, well, by the time this is coming out, tonight's episode of 90 Day Diaries, because we got Courtney. I am so excited to see Courtney. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. Anyways, that is it for this episode. So we will talk next week for the next 90 Day Diaries episode, or later on this week, I should say, for the next 90 Day Diaries episode. But until then, that is it for me. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.